Welcome back to another week of Sports Zone. As you all know, we are all on Zoom now. It's all online. There's no sports really going on, but we're still keeping it going. We're staying true. All of us at NTTV hope that all of you are staying safe and at home. But this week, we're going to be talking about UNT basketball and the long journey that they've had. They've had an electric performance all year, one of the best seasons that we've seen in such a long time. Jayden, I'm going to start with you. What are you thinking about this team? You know, they came a long way. They kind of overcame adversity. Just like as a whole, like what did you see them doing this season?
I just want to shout out Javion Hamlet and Grant McCaslin. As Hamlet, he won TC Conference USA Newcomer of the Year as well as a Conference Player of the Year. He had an absolutely stellar season coming in. He averaged over nearly 15 points per game, and then in league play, he was averaging over 17 points per game, leading the league assists per game. He was so clutch in so many situations. He helped UNT bounce back. How you're saying the adversity. We started with a very poor out of conference record, but once we came into the conference play, had an eight game winning streak. We really were electric, as you were saying, in our performance throughout the season. And then Grant McCaslin, I mean, he won Coach of the Year, and I think he absolutely deserved it. Now, as this season has unfortunately ended and been cut short, we've had 3 straight 20-win seasons since he's been at the helm. And I think that's a great testament to him and the way that he's been able to unify this team and his fan base around him.
All right, let's talk about Javion Hamlet for a minute because you mentioned him. You know, he made a splash here. He got Newcomer of the Year. You already mentioned that. But I saw a tweet this morning that he tweeted out that he is going to get drafted from UNT. There's been talk like, hey, this guy is too good to be at a small D1. You know, he's going to go bigger, but he said that he wants to stay at UNT. So, Mallory, do you think that's a good move for him, that getting drafted to the NBA from UNT, or do you think it would have been smarter for him to go up to a higher level of play?
I think it would be smarter for him to go up to a higher level of play, like you just mentioned, because he only has about a year left. And I don't think that he's quite ready for the NBA yet. He definitely has NBA potential. Just like we said back in the earlier of this season, he's played like an NBA star. He's amazing. He's a great player. He's had a bunch of clutch moments, just like Jayden said. But I think it would be definitely to his benefit to try to get drafted, as he said, out of UNT to go to a bigger school like maybe Gonzaga or something like that, so he can get that experience maybe on the big stage. Because, when he's been at UNT, they haven't made the NCAA tournament. He hasn't played on one of those big stages in a neutral site yet. And I think it would definitely be to his benefit to go to a bigger school that can make it to the NCAA tournament year after year, so he can get that experience in order to become a better player for the NBA.
All right, let's talk about the NCAA tournament for a minute. You mentioned it. I'm going to throw it over to you, Jayden. There was a lot of potential there. In my opinion, if we would have came across La Tech or Western Kentucky again in Conference USA, it could have gone either way because those teams throughout the regular season, we lost against La Tech once at home. Do you think they would have made March Madness, or you think they would have fallen to one of those teams?
I think absolutely. I mean, we really had a good shot to win the conference championship, even though we already declared regular season champs. Looking back on conference play, we beat every single team in the league. Even some more than once, to be honest. So, and even in the ones that we lost, they were all tight games where we came just short. So I believe that we were determined and we met them in conference play again, then we'd absolutely not destroy them, but we would come out with the conference championship. And as you were saying, NCAA tournament, we were projected by multiple, reputable sources to be 12 seed, 13 seed, playing against big programs. CBS had us playing Oregon in the West region, I believe. So I believe that we certainly had a shot. And then even if we, once we got into the NCAA tournament, we would have a shot to upset some teams. Our 3-point shooting has been lights out this year. We led the conference in percentage at 37.9%. So if we met any of those teams and, DJ Draper and James Reese and Hamlet and Mo, if we all got hot at the same time, we'd definitely make it.
Now, he mentioned getting hot at the same time. Obviously, this season was like the perfect mix, the coaching, the players, everything. Mallory, what do you think about next season? Do you think we're going to carry this momentum from this season? They're going to be upset. Didn't get to show what they are. Do you think they're going to be carrying that into next season?
I sure hope so. Whether we do or not, I really want to see this team do even better as this year did. But it's hard to say because I mean, just look at the NCAA championship last year. You had Virginia and Texas Tech. Neither team did even comparably good to what they did last season. So I mean, we're losing DJ Draper, Roosevelt Smart. We're losing a couple of those players, but if Javion Hamlet does decide to stay at UNT, then I think that, and Grant McCaskill will still be there, of course. I think that they do have a great shot of, matching their potential from this season or even doing better than last season.
And you mentioned losing Rose, you mentioned losing DJ. I love my man DJ. I really do. I think that personally, I think that they're not really losing any huge weapons. Like DJ Draper, when he was on. Outside of that 3-point line, like you're telling everyone that our 3-point percentage was insane this year. But I personally think that they're going to carry it into next season. Jayden, what do you think projecting into next season?
Well, we talked about whether Javion Hamlet was going to stay or not. I think he's definitely going to stay. I mean, we're talking about draft potential getting into the NBA. Remember John Morant, who is now, was the rookie of the year for most people. He came out of Murray State, out of a small school in the Ohio Valley Conference. So I don't think it really matters, which school you come from, as long as you have the NBA potential and work ethic, which I think Javion definitely has. So if he, decides to stay and come back and lead his team, lead UNT to another conference championship, another NCAA tournament berth, possibly, I think that would do wonders not only for this school but only for him and his prospects of getting drafted. So I think it's certainly a possibility.
No, I think the NBA is definitely going to look at him, especially if this happens again. He leads the team into another after the upset from this season. Not getting able to show it off or anything like that. Mallory, I'm going to ask you kind of the same thing. Like, y'all have different views on this. You think that he should go to a bigger stage? You think he should stay at UNT? There's something to be said at staying at a smaller university. Maybe they're going to look at it more because, hey, this small university that hasn't gone to the NCAA championship. Now this guy has come along. He's taking them there. Do you think that's a good thing for him? Look on the opposite side of it, him staying at UNT.
I do. I think it's a good thing. It would be a good thing for him. I mean, I'm still all for going to a bigger stage if he has the potential to do so, which he does. I'm all for going to a bigger conference, getting those reps in, getting that experience in, playing with these bigger players that could potentially follow him to the NBA. I think it's a great idea. But if he does decide to stay at UNT, like you mentioned, I think that they're going to do great next year. I think hopefully they can keep this momentum up. And so, if they do make it to the NCAA tournament again, he's getting those reps in, just like I mentioned earlier. So I think it would be still a good thing if he decided to stay at UNT. There's lots of benefits that come with it. I mean, him and Grant McCaskill, they have a great relationship. He already has a great relationship with all the other players. I mean, I think that's what got this team so far this year was their bond and their heart for this game. I mean, they bond very well together, and you can tell their relationship with each other on the court, on and off the court, actually. And so that's what, got them as far this year. And so I think it would be great for him because he'll be one of the lead. I mean, he was a leader this year, but him being a senior next year, he will be one of the leaders on this team, and people will look up to him. Other players, younger freshmen, they will look up to him. And I think it would be great for not only Javion Hamlet, but for the rest of the UNT basketball team for Javion Hamlet to stay.
And, I think there's something to be said about almost beating Oklahoma. We're winning until about the last 10 seconds. That game was electric. It was so fun to watch. Like, it's so fun to work with them and to be with that team. And you're totally right, Mallory. Like, every time I was even close to the locker room, it was just like they were jamming. They come out of that tunnel ready to play. And, I do agree that there's a lot of really, really good attitudes on this team. Every time I've been around them, they've just been so positive and stuff. I will say that, kind of like the second half, they get down a little bit. But if they can fix that, I think that there's no reason why they won't be in the same position that they are again. So last question I'll ask you guys is kind of off topic, but with all this coronavirus stuff going around, we're all inside of our houses. Jayden, how are you dealing with no sports?
It's been tough. It's been really tough. I've been watching college football on YouTube all the time, just as my way to get my sports fix in. And then additionally, I've been playing NCAA 13. It's my favorite video game of all time. And so since I've been home, had a great chance to catch up on that. I've been playing that a lot, probably more than I should have. I mean, probably more than I should, to be honest. But keeping up with football, I mean, that's my passion. That's my favorite sport. So, watching old replays and old reruns of older games, that's how I keep and stay connected.
Mallory, I'll ask you the same question. What is your life without sports right now?
It's awful. I mean, I'm talking to my family and everything, and this is what I love. This is my passion. This is my major. How do you continue on with this when there are no sports and that's your major? And what I've really been doing, and I've been looking at a lot of 2020 NCAA projection about the tournament and stuff, a lot of simulations, and it makes me even more sad to see that, most of these guys have UNT in the brackets, and them competing, some of them haven't gone past the first round, and it makes me really sad to see that this is not actually going to play out, and that, the tournament is canceled. It's not just postponed. And so that I've been looking at a lot of replays of old college basketball games. Just like Jayden said, my passion is college basketball, and so I've been watching a lot of those and looking at past seasons and stuff. And it's been really hard, but the fact that we have YouTube and stuff in order to watch all these old games and make brackets for fun and stuff, or what could have been this year, it definitely helps a lot with what's been going on.
And personally, my eyes have been on NFL trades and projecting the draft and stuff like that, which is insane to think about, that they're talking about nobody going to the draft or the draft being online. This is a culture shock for all of us. You mentioned, Mallory, this is our major. This is our life. This is our jobs. No spring sports. I'm not at the university right now. So I definitely get it. And I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. I hope your families are safe and healthy. With that being said, that'll be the end of our second online episode of Sports Zone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are staying healthy and staying at home. If you want to keep up with what NTTV is doing, we have something called the Coronavirus Diaries, which is awesome. It's an online blog on our website, North Texas Television. You guys are free to post. Mallory and Jayden, I encourage you guys to post. There's not been a lot of sports posts, and us kind of having that, depriving of sports. So I hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy.